One of the major advantages of using Excel is the ability to display our data visually. Excel allows us to build graphs and charts and has a number of built-in graph styles that you can choose from. These include bar graphs and pie graphs. Note, sometimes you might see the word charts. Just use this interchangeably with graphs. The rest of this video will take you through some different concepts around graphs and charts. The first thing we'll look at is the axes. The axes represent the horizontal and the vertical lines running across a graph. The horizontal, or the x-axis, runs from left to right, and the vertical, or the y-axis, runs top to bottom. Both can represent different forms of data. For example, in a spreadsheet, you might have the vertical axis representing the value, and you might have the horizontal axis representing the year. Excel allows us to add titles to different parts of our graphs. For example, we might want a chart title at the top of our graph. We also might want titles for the different axes. We also might want data labels. To insert different types of titles, you must first have created a graph. Once you've done that, select the graph and then find the Chart Design tab. The first option will be Add a Chart Element. Select the drop-down and then select the different function you want. Sometimes you might also be able to click on a title and start typing in. This will replace what was in the title. If you add in a data label, it will identify the value of each part of your graph. For example, you can see in the bar graph that all the points have now been attributed a value at the top of each bar. Also in this option, you'll find the ability to add grid lines or remove grid lines from your graph. To do that, select the Add Chart Element drop-down, find grid lines, and then select the option that you want. Next, they also have a legend. A legend is another word for a key, as it details what the different types of data represent. The default will always be Series 1, Series 2, and so forth. You can rename these with their appropriate titles. For example, Tire Type 1, Tire Type 2, and so forth. In your Chart Design tab, once you've clicked on a graph, you'll see that there are a number of chart styles available. These are built-in images which help display and change how your graphs might look. Have a play around with these as you work through your activities. There will also be a Format tab that appears when you've made a graph. In here, you can further refine your graphs by changing colors, alignments, adding in shapes, and doing other little things like that. Have a look at it as you work through your activities. When we make graphs and charts, Excel interprets the instruction that we give it. It'll make the graph based on what it thinks is right, but sometimes it's not always right. What we mean by this is the data that you have on your x-axis, you might actually want on your y-axis. To do this, simply access the Chart Design tab and then go Switch Row Column. This will change how the data is laid out. You can toggle this by clicking the option. This should be the first step if you're trying to troubleshoot any of your graphs. In the Chart Design tab, you also have a Select Data option. If you click on this option, it'll bring up a new window. It'll also take you back to the selected pieces of data. Here, you can switch the row and column like we just talked about, and you can edit titles and legends. If you want to edit the horizontal category axis labels, hit the Edit option. Then, make sure your way back to your data. Once you're there, highlight the data range and then select OK. You will also want to update the labels on your legend. This will be currently represented as Series 1, Series 2, and so forth. You have to do these ones one at a time. To change them, select the appropriate one and click the Edit button. Navigate your way back to your data and then select the appropriate title. Repeat until you've done all of them. Note, you can manually type these titles in. However, if the data on your spreadsheet changes or you change the title on your spreadsheet, it'll automatically update if you've linked it from the spreadsheet. Otherwise, you'll have to do them manually one by one all over again. Once we've made our graphs and our charts, we can move them to a new worksheet. This is often a lot neater and tidier than having them overlay our spreadsheet. To do this, click on the graph or chart, find the Chart Design tab, and then select Move Chart. Here you have the option to put it in a new sheet, of which you can give it an appropriate title, or keep it as an object in a spreadsheet. We recommend putting them in a new sheet.